Hi everyone, welcome back. I don't even know where to start with this because it has been such a long time. It's been a year since I posted a video. Yeah, I guess a lot of you are probably wondering where I've been, what's been going on, why haven't I been uploading videos. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you probably know what's going on, what has happened. If you haven't, then you're probably super confused. And I know a lot of you who do follow me on Instagram and stuff have mentioned like hundreds of times, when are you coming back? When are you gonna record another YouTube video? To put it bluntly, the past year I have been struggling with some pretty serious depression. You guys know that I'm really open with everything, so I'm 100% okay with talking about it, and I'm not wanting any sympathy for it or anything like that. I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm good. Yeah, the past year has been pretty crazy. I think I'll get into it a little bit with this video, but I'll definitely touch on a lot of things in other videos. But what I really want to say is I am back. I'm going to try YouTubing again, and I want to give it a really good effort and just try my best to stick with it. I feel like I got to a point where I really just couldn't handle the extra weight. I felt like YouTube was definitely one of the more stressful things that I was doing at the time, and it was just because of my mindset about it, which I've worked on changing my mindset, so it's definitely a lot better now, and I feel like I'm coming from a better place. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened. After Japan is when I stopped. My first trip to Japan, I raised a bunch of money so that I could take both me and my partner Lopi there, and went with my cousin. After we came back, I felt like I had accomplished my dream, in the sense of I actually was making a decent living off of my art, and I had gone to Japan. Those were my two life goals, and I was left with nothing in terms of goals. And if you are a very goal-oriented person like me, that can definitely shake your life. I was sort of stuck in a really weird place where I didn't really have a cushion to fall on after I came back from Japan. I didn't have any other plans or goals. I just had a lot of shipments to do for the zine, because I made a Japan zine after we got back, because I had a bunch of sketches and everything, so I made it into a little book, and that did really well. It was really successful, but the way that we had set it up was both Lopi and I were packaging all of the orders, and it ended up taking us months to pack them all up. I had no time for working on my art, and I was struggling with the depression that had started from the Japan trip. Now, I've struggled on and off with the depression for a long time. My thoughts on it is that it's partially genetics, partially just situational, and also I think I might suffer from a PCOS/endometriosis type issue disorder thing. So I'm currently getting that checked out finally, but that is something that messes with your hormones, so it could also be something like that. So a lot of different things combined kind of brought me down to this weird place. And you'll know that if you have ever suffered from any trauma or have been depressed before, you'll find that you either deal with it by fighting, freezing, or fleeing. For me, if something is really traumatic, I tend to freeze. Like when my brother passed away, I definitely froze. Like everyone else was crying and kind of mourning, but I didn't do anything because I didn't really know how. And your brain just does that. Like there's nothing weird about how you process things or deal with depression or trauma. But for me, when I'm depressed, I flee. And I flee and fight sometimes. I definitely have tried a lot of different things, from exercise, changing what I'm eating, all sorts of stuff to fight depression. When it gets to be too much, I flee. So I moved twice actually in the past year, 3 times actually, if you count me moving back to Victoria. First time I moved to a very expensive apartment because I was like, I can afford this now. Stayed there for just over a month, broke the lease because I was like, I can't handle this pressure. I had a panic attack or an anxiety attack, one of the two, because I just had too much weight on me with the store. I was telling my Patreon supporters that I was gonna finally start up the comic, and I was like, wait, no, I can't do this. So there was a lot of things. I realized there was a huge imbalance in my life, in my relationship with Lopi, because he was helping me with work. And the more I became depressed, the more okay I became with just letting him take on more and more work. Lopi is a very help-related person. I don't know how to explain it. He's very caring, and like he shows love by giving. So he really like just tried to take everything on, which just made me feel even more guilty and imbalanced. So at that point, I decided just to close down the shop and kind of just let go of everything because it had all become too much. We moved again up into the middle of nowhere, literally on a mountain in rural Canada, like an hour and a half away from any town. And the grocery stores in the wintertime didn't carry proper vegetables. They were all rotten. Like, it was a thing. Yeah, I'll have lots of stories about that place. I'll do a video on that. But we moved and we rented this big cabin out in the middle of the woods on a mountain. Power went out all the time. It was so isolating. There was snow that was like up to our chests, so we couldn't leave the driveway for sometimes weeks at a time. So we just like didn't go outside, and it was very cold. We just had like a little fireplace heating this ginormous house, and it was a thing. While we were up there in the middle of nowhere, the place was called Anglemont. It was Anglemont, BC in Canada. Yeah, while I was living there, I took on this huge commission that was 100 illustrations / paintings, traditional, for a book, and I'll be posting about that on Instagram soon. And that I don't know why I did this, but I took it on, and I had so many breakdowns about it. I don't know why I wanted to torture myself, but I did it. I finished it like 2 months ahead of time, and that's including the fact that I went to Japan for like 2 weeks in between that. I went to Japan for 2 weeks while I was there too, and I went with 2 people that I'd never met before, 2 girls, that ended up being a really great experience for me. I definitely couldn't afford to go, but Lopi told me that I should go, that it would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience going with a couple of other like artsy girls, and like it's something that I've always wanted to do, just like go on a girls trip. And like I've talked to one of the girls for a long time. Her name's Stacy. She's also an artist, and we really got along, so I was like, yeah. And in my head I treated it as like, this give me a full circle. Like I fell apart after I was in Japan, maybe I can put my life together if I go back again. So I went back, and it was an amazing trip, like absolutely amazing. I think I liked it more than the first trip, maybe, but it was everything that I needed. And I felt like after I came back, I did start to slowly be able to put myself back together. My friend Stacy also suffers with depression, and she's been like a huge help. We talk a lot back and forth, just like checking in on each other, and it's been really nice having someone to talk to who is kind of dealing with the same thing. But yeah, we moved back to Victoria in July, and it's been much better. It's still been a process. I went to a psychiatrist finally. It took me 2 months to get in with one, but I finally got in with one, and she said that I'm definitely still depressed because I still have a lot of the symptoms. But personally, like I feel a lot better. I'm starting to actually like take on new projects, and I don't know, I feel like I'm like finally doing okay, and I'm right now just like dealing with how to lessen anxiety and deal with disassociation to kind of end the cycle, you know? It's been good. I feel pretty good. I feel like I can juggle things better, and I totally don't blame myself for how I felt for the past year. I needed to get off of YouTube. I don't think it's normal for people to be like a single person, like an influencer or whatever you call them these days, to be seen by like thousands to millions of people and have like their face critiqued or their work critiqued by thousands and thousands of people. And even though my following is extremely kind and like I rarely ever see anything bad from you guys, I in my head am always afraid. of it. Like, I'm always permanently cringing. Like, say like you're about to go in for your first tattoo or something, and you sit down and like they're holding the needle like right above your skin. It's like that. Like, you're always just kind of afraid for when it's gonna happen. That's something that kind of, I guess, turned into a little bit of a poison for me, just being afraid of what people might say. So I'm kind of learning to not give an F word. I don't know if you're allowed to swear anymore on here because YouTube's been changing everything and being dumb. But yeah, I've been trying not to care, basically, and just kind of move on with my life. I'm answering comments, but not as many. I'm answering emails, but I've like slimmed down how I do things. I'm allowing myself to pick and choose what I do and what I care about, because if I care about too many things, then I'll go crazy. So I'm feeling good. I have a lot planned. I'm really excited. I want to have so many videos planned. I'm really excited to finally do them. I want to do studio vlogs. I want to do all the things, guys. I'm so excited. I missed you guys. And I have some big news also. So I started up a new shop, and it's called Oniberri, and it's actually launching today. I'm just starting off with a few products right now, but I hope for it to like grow into something big. Like, I'm really inspired by companies like Valfree, Lazy Oaf, Omocat. I would love to get to that point where I can like design clothes. That's always been like a huge dream for me, to just like make clothes with like really cool designs on them. And I'm making pins, bags, and I am finally re-releasing my sketchbook. That is like a huge ordeal that I'll make another video about as well. But I released my first like actual book back when I was living in Anklemont, and I had a lot of issues with the printer, so I had to take it down. But now I am re-releasing it. It's like 112 pages of a lot of work that I have done for like the past however many years inside of my sketchbooks. Yeah, it's a big book, and I've added a lot of stuff since the last time I released it, and the pages are like thick, glossy. It's good stuff. I'm excited for it. So that's up on my site as well, and I'll put a link to it in the description down below. You guys can check it out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's everything. I'm going to try and do weekly uploads if I can. I'm gonna do my absolute best, and if I could do more than weekly, that would be great. But I'm just taking it one step at a time for now. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I'll leave the links below. And also, Oniberri has its own Instagram now, so you guys can check that out too if you want. I'm just getting back into the swing of things, so my audio and video quality isn't where I'd like for it to be, because I got rid of a lot of the stuff that I used for YouTube. But I want to get back on track with it, and I hope for everything to be improved by the next few videos. This painting itself is done with gouache and acrylic gouache, and the painting will be made into prints, and the profits for those prints will go towards helping people that have mental health illnesses and need help for therapy. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I'm just so happy to be back, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!